Hey everyone, welcome to another top 10 list, and here is my top 10 personal favorite Whedonverse characters. Alright, before I get to this top 10 list, I want to explain to everyone who doesn't know what Whedonverse is. Some people are probably looking at this list like, top 10 Whedonverse characters? What the fuck is Whedonverse? Well, Whedonverse is a bunch of TV shows that are created by Joss Whedon. Yes, Joss Whedon, the king of all nerds. And I'm not talking about all his shows. Like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does not count. That's part of the MCU. That's the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm only talking about four shows in particular. And these four shows are like some of my favorite shows of all time. I love these shows. The first show was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That came out in the late 90s, and it was a fantastic show. Great, campy, one of my favorites. And then the second one was the spin-off Angel. Another amazing show. It was less campy and more dark and gritty, and it was still a great show. The third one was my favorite show of all time, Firefly. Brilliant sci-fi epic, love it. And the fourth one, the last one, was Dollhouse. Really good show, another one of my favorites. These four shows, I love them. And the best thing about them is not only the brilliant writing and the brilliant creation that Joss Whedon gave to these shows, but the characters. I love these characters. These characters are amazing. I love them all, so I thought I'd count down my top 10 personal favorite Whedonverse characters. So any characters that are part of these four shows. So yeah, you get it now? Okay, perfect. So here we go. Here's my top 10 personal favorite Whedonverse characters. And before top 10 list, you gotta have your honorable mentions. And my honorable mentions are Oz from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Xander from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Echo from Dollhouse, Wash from Firefly, Willow from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Giles from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Saffron from Firefly, Paul from Dollhouse, and Simon Tam from Firefly. A lot of honorable mentions. I love all those characters. Just couldn't make the top 10 list, but what did make the top 10 was my number 10. My number 10 is River Tam from Firefly. Yes, Summer Glau. Summer Glau was amazing in this show. I loved her in this show, and I love her in Serenity. That's the movie after Firefly. She's brilliant in this show. This show, she plays basically a girl who's on the run because she was experimented by the Alliance. And I don't want to go into details with this show. Watch my ranking of the Firefly episodes. I go into details with the show, and she's a brilliant character. She's basically a psychic, and she's pretty confused, and she's a paranoid schizophrenic, but she's a very compelling character, a very interesting character. Summer Glau just plays her so well, and I love her. She's one of my favorite characters. Brilliant show. It's my favorite show of all time, and I love River. She's amazing. Coming number 9 is Wesley Wyndham-Pryce from Angel. Yes, he was in Buffy for a little bit, but I'm not going to count him in Buffy because in Buffy he was kind of like a generic geek. This show, and then when he gets into Angel, he's freaking awesome. Alexis Denisov plays him, and he does an amazing job. I love Wesley. I love smart characters, and I also love geeky and weird and quirky characters, and that's what he kind of is. He was really quirky in Buffy. He's still quirky in this show, but yeah, she shows that he brings a lot of intellect to the team, Angel's team. Because when he first comes in the first season, it's just Angel and Cordelia, and he's awesome. He's hilarious. And after Doyle died, I'm like, no one can replace Doyle. I loved Doyle, but then Wesley comes. I'm like, oh, Wesley from Buffy? Ugh. But he just grew on me throughout each season. He got better and better. And when he died in the end, yes, I'm going to do a lot of spoilers, but if you're watching this list, you know the shows, you've watched the shows, so you're not going to care. But he dies so sad with it when he's holding Illyria. Oh my god, so sad. And he's an amazing character. I love Wesley. He just grew on me. He was a character I wasn't always interested in, but because of Angel, he grew on me, and I loved him. And I loved him as a character, and I was sad when he died. But yeah, go Wesley. Coming number 8 is Inara from Firefly. Yes, she is a companion. In the world of Firefly, companions, aka prostitutes, they're basically high-class women because they work for the Alliance. That's basically a government job, sleeping with people. So basically, she's high-end. She's almost like a politician. Yes, prostitutes are very high up in the government in Firefly. Isn't that awesome? I want to live in a world like that. And she's basically a part of the crew of Serenity. And basically, she does her thing and pays her rent on Serenity. I love Inara. Even though they could have easily just made her this pretty girl, she is pretty. Maria Baccarin plays her so well, and she is gorgeous, just stunning to look at. But she brings a lot to this character. She's not just a pretty face. She is very compelling. She's very witty. Everyone in this show is witty. She's very smart. And she just knows a lot of things. She knows more things than, like, Captain Malcolm Reynolds. Like, Captain Malcolm Reynolds is the best character. But she knows a lot. Like, she knows a lot about fighting styles, different languages, and different people. And she can read people very well. And, like, you know, the episode when Saffron comes back, she's the only one that doesn't trust Saffron. And, yeah, you got every right. Saffron's a bitch. Love her, but she's a bitch. And I just love Inara. She's not only, like, a very beautiful and elegant woman, but she's very clever and so likable and so witty. And I just can't but love her. She's so good. I love Inara. Fantastic character. Coming number 7 is Winifred Burkle from Angel. Yes, she later becomes the Illyria. Spoilers. Illyria is kind of, she's okay, but I love Winifred Burkle. She's a very strange character because they find her on this weird alien planet. Yeah, she's this weird planet that's ruled by, like, these weird monsters, and humans are considered slaves, almost like a Planet of the Apes kind of thing. They're considered dumb slaves, and basically she's been a slave on this planet for a few years. And when they bring her back to Earth, she's a little kooky and a little crazy, and I kind of like her. I kind of like a crazy girl, and she's just so good. Amy Acker plays her so well. I love Amy Acker in these Joss Whedon shows. She's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. a little bit, and she's in Dollhouse. I love her as Whiskey in Dollhouse, but she shines in this show. She is brilliant in this show. I love her. She is so likable. She is the most likable character in Angel. She's just so sweet, so kind, and so smart, too. She's very smart. She's the smartest character. I know Wesley thought he was the smartest character, but when Winifred comes, she's the smartest character, and I just can't help her. She's just so kind and sweet, and I love a very kind and sweet character, and I love Winifred Burkle. She's great, and her chemistry with Wesley later on in the show, brilliant chemistry, love them. Number 6 is Angel from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel. Yes, Angel was in Buffy before he got his own spin-off show, Angel. He's great in Buffy. He's not like my favorite character, but I do like him in Buffy. He's a very likable character. He's pretty cool. But in Angel, he is awesome. He is my favorite character in Angel, except in the last season when a character comes. I will mention him later, but I love Angel. He's a really cool and just a very likable guy. That's what I really like about Angel. He's very simple. He wants to do right. He got cursed. He was a vampire. He didn't want to be a vampire, but he was a vampire with no soul. He killed people, but then a gypsy cursed him, and then he became a vampire with a soul, and ever since he's had a soul, he wants to help people. He knows he has this curse, and he doesn't want anyone else to have this curse like him, and he just wants to help people. I just think that's very noble. He's just a very noble and very trustworthy character, and I really like him. David Boreanaz adds this humanism to him, and he was a perfect actor to play this character. He's not just a pretty boy. He's very noble, very clever, and just a very interesting character. His backstory is very fascinating. I won't go into details with that because that'd take like a whole video to do that, but I love Angel. He's a great character. I loved him in Buffy, but I loved him even more in Angel. Coming number 5 is Buffy Summers from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yes, Buffy, the lead character. I'm going to do this quick. She's awesome. Sarah Michelle Gellar, she may have not played in a lot of great movies, but she shined in this show. She was brilliant. I loved Buffy. She's the lead character. She's interesting. She's funny. She's likable. She kicks freaking ass. So this is like one of the first strong, independent women in freaking TV shows, and she's awesome. She's a great role model for young girls. Yeah, she shows young people, kick some ass, and she does kick some ass, and I love Buffy. Coming number 4 is Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yes, he does come in the final season of Angel, but I don't want to officially count that. Like, I loved him in Angel, but Spike was brilliant in Buffy. He was my favorite character in Buffy. I loved Spike in this show. He was just so good. He started off as a villain, then he became an anti-hero, and then he became a hero. And he just has the best character arcs in this show, and he's just so funny. I love his humor. James Marsden's did an awesome job. He was just so good. I loved his chemistry with Sarah Michelle Gellar. Yeah, Buffy and Spike kind of have this really fucked up relationship. It starts off, I actually don't want to go into details with their relationship because it kind of makes me sick because their relationship is really fucked up, but it works for the show and their chemistry is really good, and I really like Spike. I love that he's a villain. I love him as a villain in season 2 and 3, and I love when he's an anti-hero, when he gets the chip in his head. And then in the final season, he becomes the true hero. He saves the day. He gives his life to save everyone, and that is a true hero. And Spike, I love you, Spike. I love you. Coming number 3 is Alpha from Dollhouse. Yes, spoilers, Alan Tudyk is Alpha. That is a big, huge spoiler. That is a huge twist in season 1, because it's a, oh my god! I'm sorry to spoil that, but yeah, he's Alpha, and I love him. He is the villain in the first season, then he becomes kind of like an anti-hero in the end of the season 2, and I love Alpha. He's just so fucking crazy, but he's awesome. I love Alan Tudyk. I loved him as Wash in Firefly. He's awesome, but I loved him in this show. He was just like the character I was rooting for, and that's not because I hated the heroes. I love the heroes. I love Echo. I love Paul. I love them all. And, yeah, but I was rooting for him because he's just so fascinating. I love a character who's just so crazy and just eats up the craziness. He just fucking loves it because he's got so many memories and people and memories in his head. He's like 20 different people in one person, so no wonder he's fucking crazy. And Alan Tudyk just plays him so well, and I just love him. He just eats up every scene he's in this show, and it's just so good. And the way his character ends in the show is a brilliant ending to the character, and I love it. Coming number 2 is Topher from Dollhouse. As you saw, my top 10 favorite characters in TVs ever, Topher's up there. I love Topher. I just love how smart Topher is. He's the one that kind of causes the end of the world, but he actually ends up saving everyone in the end of the world by the cost of his life. And he is just such an awesome character. He's so funny. Fran Kranz did an amazing job playing him, and he's just so likable. I love Topher. He's like the character a lot of people can relate to. He's kind of like the outsider, but so humane and so humanistic, and that's why I love him. Like, when bad shit's happening, he gives a very realistic reaction to it. What? And like, when a difficult decision has to be made, he asks logical questions, and he a realistic expression, and he asks questions that people would ask, like, why are we doing this? And like, he's just so smart, he's just so intellectual, and he's just so realistic. He's one of the most realistic characters in the show. And he's the hero. I don't care. I know Echo is the character. Echo is like the hero. She saves the day. But honestly, Topher saves the day. It's his idea, and he's the one that gives his life in the end of the day. So this show should have been all about Topher. Honestly, the show probably would have been much better. You know, I love the show. This is like one of my favorite shows. I love Dollhouse. Dollhouse is a very smart show. Check it out if you've not seen it. It is not Charlie's Angels. It's fucking awesome. It's a sci-fi show. And yeah, Topher is amazing. He makes this show even more amazing than it is. And the show is pretty amazing. And my number 1 favorite Whedonverse character is Captain Malcolm Reynolds from Firefly. As you saw my ranking of the Firefly episodes and my top 10 favorite characters of all time, everyone saw this coming. I love Captain Malcolm Reynolds. He is a true bounty hunter. This is like Han Solo. Him and Han Solo should do like a spin-off movie together. I would watch that movie. That would be the greatest movie of all time. Han Solo and Captain Malcolm Reynolds in a movie together. He's amazing in Serenity, and he's even more amazing in Firefly. The entire opening song, You Can't Take the Sky From Me, that is all Mel. That entire song is about Mel. The whole story is about him. The ship is his. It's about him battling his own demons. Like, yeah, he was a great religious man, but then he lost his beliefs in the war when the Alliance won. The Independent lost. He lost his hope and gave up on everything. But because he does all these good missions and helps people, he slowly becomes even more of a better person. And he's a likable character. He kind of has his asshole moments, but he's so likable. He's so charming. His villain just plays this role so well, and I love Captain Malcolm Reynolds. He is the greatest character in the show, and he's one of the greatest characters Joss Whedon has ever created. I love Captain Malcolm Reynolds. Amazing. So yeah, that was my top 10 personal favorite Whedonverse characters. So yeah, please in the comment section below, what are your top 10 personal favorite Whedonverse characters? Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.